everybody, it's Meira. Welcome to another installment of Meira Speaks. Today, I want to talk about validation and feeling that you have value. Most of the time, I hear about people talking about the importance of inner validation. That is, finding the validation you need inside of you. And most of the time, I agree with it. The fact is, we need a healthy self-esteem, especially since it's very, very hard to withstand a lot of things in life that make us feel devalued. Most of the time, it's not wrong, it's not malicious, it's part of life. For example, you might be having a bad day at work, and your bosses and your supervisors are supposed to call you out on your mistakes. There's nothing wrong or malicious about it, as long as they handle it like mention and they do it right with the attitude of mistakes happen, correct it, move on. But the fact is, even if they do it right, you're still not going to feel very good. Nobody does. Or maybe you're in the job market and you just don't get the job. Sometimes that happens to everyone. And again, it's not wrong, it's not malicious, it just happens. But this is why we need a healthy self-esteem, and we need that inner validation to help us get through. However, we're only human. And sometimes we are going to need some outside validation. Now, of course, we should not be dependent on it. We have to remember, we've got to really feel it inside of us. Because if we are too dependent on it, that makes us vulnerable, and that can lead us into some very unhealthy situations. But sometimes, even with a healthy self-esteem, we need some outside validation. First of all, healthy self-esteem and inner validation do not come from nowhere. We need some outside validation to help build that up. Second, even when we have a healthy self-esteem, even when we can find that inner validation, sometimes we just need some outside validation. Sometimes we are in a bad mood. Again, maybe we've had a bad day for whatever reason, and we just need something from the outside to remind us that yes, we do have some value. Now, right now we are in the Aseret Yemei Tshuva, and Yom Kippur is only a couple of days away. And a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that during the high holidays, Yamim Noreim, the 10 days of repentance, that we're supposed to be feeling bad about ourselves and beating ourselves up over every little thing we've done wrong. Now, again, we're supposed to do a cheshbon. We're supposed to do some soul searching and introspection, and we are supposed to consider the mistakes that we've made. But we're not supposed to beat ourselves up over them. We are supposed to remember that we do have value, that we do have good deeds to our credit, we have talents and strengths, and that we are supposed to use our God-given talents and strengths to do mitzvot, to follow God's commandments, to do good deeds, to make the world a better place. And we can't do that if we're beating ourselves up. So before we go into Yom Kippur, I want to just add two messages. The first is that if you're feeling like you just need some outside validation, don't be ashamed of it. It's true that if you find yourself depending on it, you should probably get some outside help and find a way to build your inner validation and to build a healthy self-esteem. But the occasional bit of outside intervention is okay. There's nothing wrong with needing it occasionally, so don't feel ashamed if you do feel that way occasionally. And number two, if you're related to me by blood or by marriage, or if you consider yourself my friend, then I want you to know that you have value in this world. Now, I may not know you well enough to be able to tell you what that value is, and sometimes it's just not that simple. Sometimes most of the time, you really do have to find that inside of you. But you do have value. And yes, there will always be people and situations who will make you feel bad about yourself. And most of the time, it's not wrong or malicious. Like I said before, it happens. But then there are people who make it very clear to you that you do not have any value for them, that you have nothing of value to offer for them. And you know what? It happens to all of us. It's happened a couple of times to me too. It's rare, but it does happen. And my answer to that is, I'm quoting my father here, that's too bad. I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. But I want you to know that you have value in this world. So I'm hoping that whether you are Jewish or not Jewish, whether you observe Yom Kippur or not, I want you to go into this year remembering that you have value, and I want you to try to harness that value and use it for good things and to make the world a better place. But just remember, you have value, so please don't give up. Thank you. Bye-bye.